A few more days and the last qualifier will get underway. One team preview left to do, and it's the country favored to win this qualifier, Team Colombia, a country with a long history with baseball. Dozens of Colombians have played in Major League Baseball, the best known among them, Edgar Renteria. And at this time, there are 19 active players born in Colombia with MLB experience. You will see many of them take the field for Colombia in this qualifier. Though after a couple players withdrew, it's not quite as impressive as we thought the roster was going to be. Pitchers Nabil Crismat and Jose Quintana, catcher Jorge Alfaro, and outfielder Oscar Mercado were put on the roster, but have decided to stay in spring training. Even without those four, this team is stacked. Active pitchers and hitters with recent MLB experience, and a good domestic league to draw players from, the Colombian Winter League, LPB, is far above the Chinese or German leagues. In this qualifier group, Colombia's got by far the most talent. Colombia's first appearance in any kind of WBC tournament was the 2013 qualifier. They started out by beating Nicaragua, but then lost to Brazil and Panama, and were out of the tournament. In the 2017 qualifier, they went 3-0, beating Spain, Panama, and Panama again, to qualify for their first ever WBC, and they did not disappoint in their WBC debut. Lost to eventual champion USA by 1 run in extra innings, beat Canada, then lost to defending champions Dominican Republic in extra innings. Didn't advance, but what a performance it was. They started out the 2023 WBC with a huge upset over Mexico, but then sort of erased that upset when they lost to Great Britain. Then they got blanked by Canada. In their final game, they lost by 1 run to USA. In the final standings, Colombia and Britain were the only teams with just 1 win, and Britain won the head-to-head. That's what sent Colombia to this qualifier. Aside from the WBC, they were first in the 2023 Pan American Games, and were one of 12 countries to qualify for the 2024 Under-23 Baseball World Cup. For this WBC qualifier, they get started on Sunday, March 2nd versus Brazil. Most are picking Colombia and Brazil to finish 1 and 2 in this qualifier. Monday, they'll be taking on China. Tuesday versus Germany. No game on Wednesday. If they finish 2nd or 3rd, there will be 1 more game on Thursday for the final spot in the 2026 WBC. So, without further ado, here is Colombia's WBC qualifier roster, starting with the pitchers. Adrian Almeida, a 30-year-old left-hander, was a AA Angels prospect 6 years ago. In 2024 in the Atlantic League, he made 11 starts and 9 relief appearances, totaling 70 innings, ERA 4.33, WHIP 142. Danis Correa, 25-year-old A's prospect, struggled in AAA last year, but in AA he threw 18 innings of relief with 17 strikeouts, ERA 147, WHIP 0.82. Luis Escobar, 28, played in MLB for the Pirates back in 2019. Last year he pitched in Mexico. 12 starts and 6 relief appearances, totaling 63 innings. ERA 4.38, WHIP 154. Pedro Garcia, a 29-year-old former Reds AAA prospect. Last summer in the LMB and Atlantic League, totaled 49 games with an ERA of 3.92 and a WHIP of 158. Rio Gomez, a 30-year-old lefty, pitched in AAA in 2023. 12 starts, 4.45 ERA. 2024 in the CPBL, he threw 63 games in relief. Struck out 94 batters in 92 innings. ERA 117, WHIP 0.78. Yapson Gomez, the 31-year-old lefty, has pitched in Venezuela and Mexico for many years. Last winter in Venezuela, 28 games in relief, ERA 2.79, WHIP 0.98. Gene Herrera, 24, pitched last summer in the Atlantic League, threw 14 1/3 scoreless innings, with a WHIP of 0.49. Last winter in Colombia, 21 strikeouts in 19 1/3 innings, ERA 2.33, WHIP 109. David Lordi, a 21-year-old Reds prospect. Between the rookie and low single-A levels last year, he made 7 starts and 11 relief appearances for 57 innings with 58 strikeouts, ERA 2.20, WHIP 0.87. John Romero, 30 years old now, played at the major league level a few years ago. For 2024, he was in Mexico. 38 games, 39 innings, ERA 4.38, WHIP 115. Reyver San Martin, a 28-year-old lefty, pitched for the Cincinnati Reds a couple years ago. 2024, he had a bad year in AAA, 18 games with a 7.36 ERA and 1.75 WHIP. Julio Teheran, a 34-year-old two-time MLB All-Star, who's made 248 career MLB starts, only played in 1 game for the Mets last year. Victor Vargas, 24, pitched in the American Association last year. 7 starts, 42 innings, ERA 2.11, WHIP 108. And Ezequiel Zabaleta, 29, reached AAA in the Rays organization in 2021. This past winter in Colombia, 17 games, 18 innings, 18 strikeouts, ERA 150, WHIP 0.94. So for their starting pitchers, they'll definitely want Tehran. Lordi was a really good starter last summer in the low levels of the minors. Victor Vargas dominated as a starting pitcher in Indy Ball. Rio Gomez was a decent starting pitcher in AAA a couple years ago, but they're probably off better using him in relief after that dominant 2024 as a CPBL reliever. Escobar was a reliable starter in the LMB. Almeida started in the Atlantic League. A lot of options there. They only need 3 starting pitchers. The others can be used in relief. And they'll join other relievers like San Martin, Herrera, and Yapson Gomez, who've all pitched successfully in high levels of baseball. Catchers, Alfaro is out, so they have to settle for another catcher who played in MLB last year. Jair Camargo made his MLB debut in 2024, playing 5 games for the Twins. In AAA, he hit 12 home runs in 74 games. Guillermo Quintana, 23, played 81 games in the American Association last year, with a .609 OPS. And Carlos Martinez, 29, reached AAA in the Braves system 4 years ago. Last year put up similar numbers in Mexico in the summer and Colombia in the winter. On-base percentage of .300, OPS over .650. In the infield, 38-year-old Reynaldo Rodriguez, a Twins AAA prospect a long time ago. In the past year, he played in Colombia and the 2 Mexican leagues, totaling 156 games, with 25 home runs. 17 out of 24 in stolen bases, with a .761 OPS. He plays first and in the outfield. Gio Urshela, a 33-year-old who's played the last 10 years in MLB. In 2024, he played in 128 games, 9 home runs, .647 OPS, and 0.7 wins above replacement. Usually plays at third. Francisco Acuna, 25, reached AAA with the Pirates 2 years ago. Last year in AA, 15 games, .405 on-base percentage, and a .793 OPS. He plays second, third, and short almost equally. Michael Arroyo, only 20, a Mariners prospect, played in low and high single-A last summer. 121 games, 23 home runs, 18 out of 24 in stolen bases, .400 on-base percentage, .910 OPS. Similar numbers across the 2 levels. Plays second and short, with a preference for second. Fabian Pertuz, a 24-year-old Cubs prospect, played in every level from low single-A to AAA in 2024. Across the 4 levels, 82 games, 7 home runs, .599 OPS. Ironically, his lowest OPS recorded was in low single-A, while his highest was in AAA. Plays all infield positions, mostly at short. And Jose Ramos, a 22-year-old Giants prospect. 47 games at the rookie level last year, 13 out of 15 in stolen base attempts. On-base percentage .426, OPS .810, plays all infield positions. And that's their infield, a good hitter in Mexico, an active Major League third baseman, and the rest of the list reads off like a list of hot prospects, so different from the other teams in this qualifier group. In the outfield, Brian Buelvas, a 22-year-old A's prospect, played 113 games across high single-A and AA, 8 home runs, 27 out of 34 in stolen bases, .352 on base percentage, .773 OPS. Dilson Herrera, 30, 4 MLB seasons between 2014 and 2020. In the past year, he's played in Colombia and the 2 Mexican leagues, 73 games, .369 on base, .726 OPS. Jesus Mariaga, 26 years old, one of the best hitters in the Colombian league the last few years. This past winter, 35 games, 6 for 6 in stolen bases, .393 on base, .764 OPS. In 2023 in the American Association, he played in 98 games, 28 out of 34 in stolen bases, .362 on base, .805 OPS. And 30-year-old Harold Ramirez played in 536 Major League games in the last 6 years, 25 games in 2024, .638 OPS, only 1 home run. That is Team Colombia, and wow, this is easily the most talented team in either qualifier. Unlike Brazil, Germany, and China, they have guys who played in MLB in 2024. Almost all players on this roster have played in the MLB system. The young prospects put up really good numbers in the minors last year. Colombia has better pitching, both starting and relief, better hitting, more power, more speed, more high-level professional experience than the other three teams. They've got the other three teams beat in every possible way. Even if Germany had Kepler and Brazil had Gomes, Colombia would still be way ahead. You might point to the first qualifier that just finished a few days ago and say Taiwan was supposed to be a lot better than the other three teams in their group, but they lost twice. Sure, but Taiwan was bringing a roster full of young players. Colombia's got a good balance of young, up-and-coming prospects and veteran players. Also, Taiwan was just coming off its off-season. Most of Colombia's players have just finished the Winter League season. They're not rusty, they're ready to go. This roster would do well in a WBC. I mean the main tournament of the WBC. They're bringing a WBC roster to a WBC qualifier. The best qualifier roster ever. They will re-qualify for the WBC, no doubt about it. I say with a 90% chance of sweeping the whole group. Something will have to go seriously wrong for them to lose even once. Anyway, that's all for this one. Until next time, this is Baseball International. See ya.